Welcome to another video from Gradelink websites. In this video, we'll cover the exact steps you need to take to adjust the sizing or padding of a button that is located in a header or navigation menu item. Now, this particular type of button is done using CSS, so it's different from a button that is typically within a layout. So you won't be able to access any settings usually that are not without a bit of coding knowledge. So for example, this is a standard button. If you want to adjust the size of it, you can go into Design, Button, and then you can adjust text size as well as button letter spacing, as well as border width, and go into spacing and you'll be able to make adjustments here as well. So and then the width is determined by, in this case, determined by the custom CSS within the module. So module elements, and in the main element it says the width is 100%. So that's why it's a bit wider of a button. If you want to remove that and just adjust it using the spacing, you would remove that bit of CSS from the main element. So that's how you adjust that button. In the header, you'll see this is for a navigation item. So what we can see is this is pulling in the content or the navigation menu items from the menu. So if we head over to the menu, which is under Appearance Menus, and we look at the main navigation, Inquire is currently, it has a CSS class. Now if you don't see this, you may need to actually, because this is a user-based setting, so it's not applicable. If I change it on my end, it's not going to apply for every user. But you may need to click on the tab up here called Screen Options, and you'll want to check the box for CSS classes. There's no need to click any Save button. It'll automatically update. And then you should be able to see CSS classes when you open up the drop down for a particular menu item. The CSS class in this case is menu_CTA. And this is being referenced under the site's main repertoire for CSS CSS coding, which is under Divi, Theme Options, and the General tab. So if we go to Divi, Theme Options, and we're already on the General tab by default, then we can scroll down to the bottom, and here we see a section for Custom CSS. It can also be accessed under Theme Customizer if you go there and then click on the Custom CSS option. But this is typically the preferred method. Go to Divi, Theme Options, and scroll down to Custom CSS on the General tab. Now we've got a bunch of CSS here. You typically don't want to mess with this unless you understand what it's referencing. So for example, we have gravity form styling, which is applied to all of the forms on the website. And the one we're looking for is called CTA menu item. And you can tell this is the correct one because the CSS class is, actually there's Get Started. It's actually a little bit further down. We have some CSS class in here for Get Started buttons that may or may not be currently used. So we want to make sure we find the CSS class that matches what is on the menu item, which if you remember, it's menu_CTA. So we found it. It's here at near the bottom of the CSS, custom CSS section. And you can see if we read the CSS, there is an attributes listed for the margin, the border width, the background color, etc. This is all for that particular menu item. So we can see the color of the text is set to be white. The background color is red. If we looked up this hex code, it would be red. And right now, just as an example, the Inquire now has a bit of extra bottom padding. So we're going to want to adjust that to match the top. So if we do padding top 8 pixels, padding bottom 8 pixels, and then padding right, maybe we want to make that a little bit smaller and go 30, and we save changes, then we can actually see the changes live here on the website, and now we have a smaller button. If we wanted to adjust the margin, then we could say margin top and add an attribute, and then put in, say, 5 pixels of top padding. And we may actually want to add this exclamation point important so it gets picked up. And then we can delete the auto margin. And we'll save changes. And there we have it. Now, of course, we could easily just go back to the previous margin, which would cause it to align properly. Make sure we remove the top margin there, save changes, and refresh. And now the text is aligned properly. So we should be all set to go with this button adjustment. So to review, this button in the menu is typically put in by a CSS class, and the CSS is being referenced under theme options of Divi under the custom CSS section. Thank you for watching, and if you have additional questions, please reach out to Gradelink website support.